Good morning, St. Paul. This is your Un-Bougie foodie, Wesley Wright, your host. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have you been outside lately? Okay, no. There's no way to actually miss this wonderful weather that we're having right now. But first and foremost, I want to definitely thank you for tuning in. I am on every Saturday at 10 a.m. and this is a food show where I'm talking to you always about new and interesting foods or exciting places that you've perhaps not been to that I want to share with you. Always bringing you the pleasures of the table because, really, it is always about the food. So I want to start off by definitely, wishing, can't miss this out. It is Mother's Day. So all you mothers out there, definitely want to wish you a very happy Mother's Day. My sisters, my mother, my own mother in Los Angeles, just know that I miss you all. I love you all. Friends here that are moms that I know as well, just across the world, really, or across the cities, wherever you are. You're appreciated, and even though today is designated for you, just this one day, it seems. I know that many people have the same sentiment that it really one day doesn't really encompass how you're actually feeling about your mom, and just about how who she's been in your life. So definitely want to thank everyone, moms that are out there. Just know that we love you. Okay, got that out of the way. Not that that's any less important, but this is a food show, so we got to talk about food. So I want to start off with last week. Gosh, there were so many things going on. I think it was a whirlwind of things that were happening for me, and not for me, but what I was planning to do for the day. Aside from hosting my show in that morning, there was I was nerding out a little bit, so I went and did Free Comic Book Day. So all you folks that are nerding out or love to nerd out, just remember, every first Saturday of May is Free Comic Book Day. But then directly after that, I went and volunteered with my secular job. I try to do that and get out into the community for Cinco de Mayo. Now, I'm going to apologize right now because, one, I know I said I was going to probably talk about some food and everything that was down there, and I did not have a chance. I think I tasted a taco because it was such a busy day, just running around and handling my responsibilities for volunteering and whatnot. So I apologize that I did not get a chance to really experience fully the food that was down at Cinco de Mayo. Now, mind you, I've been before, but I really wanted to engross myself in it this year and did not get an opportunity, so I apologize. But I know that a number of some of our radio personalities and show hosts here had opportunity to go down there and experience a number of the food. So if you don't know, ask them, because they were there. But I did see a number of the standards that I would always see at any type of Mexican or Latin cultural event. Elotes, raspados, definitely tacos, all different types of tacos. There were pineapple drinks, non-alcoholic, of course. It was I was working. I was handling business. But again, just to be in the atmosphere and around in the festival, a cultural event is a wonderful place to be. And it was amazing. I was tired at the end of my shift, so re- mind you, I really wanted to have some, but I couldn't because immediately after that, yeah, I double booked myself or whatnot, but I had a bread pudding to make, so I was running late a little bit, but see, I'm doing transition from talking about Cinco de Mayo and I was supposed to have food, but I'm transitioning to other food. But before doing the bread pudding, uh, some coworkers they stated, "Hey, we're about to, we're ending our shift and everything like that. Let's go out and socialize for maybe a half an hour or so." Uh, and I was like, "No, I gotta go." But I am so glad that they made me go. They enticed me with photos, and you know how I am about photos, especially of food. So they suggested uh, a place, ice cream place, actually. Now, we're today. Look at today. Today is going to be in the upper 70s, nearly 80, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be warm. So likewise, last week was quite warm as well. And I, got to thinking, I was like, crap, they're asking me to go to this place, which I'm about to mention, the ice cream shop. Why couldn't I mention that, as we're going into the warm season, spring, I know is not very warm, but, we're counting on it being warmer. So anyway, they suggested a place that I had never gone to before, and it's called Nelson's Ice Cream. Nelson's Ice Cream is located at 454 Snelling Avenue, and that's in St. Paul, 55105. And seriously, if you've not been to this place, please go. Please go. Top-notch ice cream, and you will certainly be wowed because I will say a child size, which is $3.75, and that seems to be what everyone gets. Everyone. If you got any bigger than that, because there are like two other sizes larger than that, and I think one gargantuan size called the lumberjack. And if you go on their website, you'll look and see what I mean. But the child size at $3.75, come on, it's the size. I mean, I don't know if you're used to like a small soup bowl. That entire soup bowl filled, and then at least on top of that is a 8-ounce, or excuse me, I'd say maybe about an 8 or 10 ounce cup packed with ice cream. My descriptions are certainly doing you no justice to this food or to this ice cream specifically. But I tell you, the different flavors that they have are amazing. There's one called Zanzibar. We were trying to figure out, standing in line, what is in Zanzibar. I didn't have my phone because you could have seen it on there, on the website, but when you don't have your phone. Rich dark chocolate ice cream. Another one, Mackinac Island fudge, vanilla ice cream with chocolate fudge chunks and swirled with chocolate fudge. Come on, chocolate like that, delicious sounding. And then, gosh, my favorite down here was what is it? No, they don't have it on their website. And we were just there last week. I don't understand, unless it's new to them, and they probably, anyway, it was sea salt caramel and sea salt caramel nut. Sorry about that. I know it was somehow, I think it's probably added onto their flavors on their wall on how they have it posted inside the ice cream shop. But if you're familiar with sea salt caramel nut, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There's on a different level. They have one called flavor called caramel turtle cheesecake, and it's described as being a luscious cheesecake ice cream with chocolate coated caramel turtles, roasted pecans, and cheesecake pieces with a chocolate cookie crust, all surrounded by a smooth caramel sauce. Yeah. Caramel turtle cheesecake. Do you like that? There are so many different other flavors: white chocolate, raspberry, truffle, toffee crunch, rocky road, some favorites, uh, Heath bar yogurt, bubble gum. They even have one for Superman. Blue raspberry, cherry, and vanilla ice cream swirled together. I'm telling you, you would be remiss to not visit Nelson's in St. Paul. There are two locations, and I mentioned that because I think at the time that we were going, some friends, I guess they got separated, and I would assume that they were possibly going to Stillwater. Not sure about that. And so, this one specifically is in St. Paul. Now, I'll mention the address once again. It is 454 Snelling Avenue South. And again, that's St. Paul. They're open today from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. So, it's about quarter after 10 right now. So you still have some time to prepare. Go on their website, which is nelsonsicecream.biz. nelsonsicecream.biz. And it will give you all the information. It'll give you background, and it will even show you a picture, or there will be a display of a picture of that gargantuan bowl of ice cream that I mentioned, called the Lumberjack. And they call it a monstrosity that's unique to Nelson's, and certainly not for the faint of heart when it comes to ice cream. Because here, I'll just give you a brief description of what it is. You could go on the website and look at the picture. But 5 softball-sized scoops of any flavor arrangement with your choice of toppings, and so that allows for any type of combination. Totally. But the best part about it is that if you do finish this, you will, and you have to do it by yourself, you'll have your picture on the Nelson's Wall of Fame. Now, if you have an intolerance to dairy, such as so many may have, this may not be the dare for you. Perhaps you want to probably just have it stick with a child size and then share that. Because trust me, when I tell you a child size at $3.75, it's huge. It's enough for 2 adults and be satisfied. So imagine that for one person, a child. So yeah. Nelson's, total shout out to you all, because you guys are amazing. I love your flavors. I love the quantity, the price for the quantity that you get. It is truly it's something that is just gonna kind of stand the test of time for the season, because I know I'm going to be back there. I have some friends that I got to take there because they're not going to believe me. Again, that address for Nelson's Ice Cream Shop is 454 Snelling Avenue South, and that's St. Paul, Minnesota 55105. Now, I've talked about, we're still on the subject of ice cream, but I can't leave out my go-to. I mean, Nelson's is new to me, and I'm happy to go back. I'm excited to go back. But tried and true in the neighborhood of St. Paul. I really want to give a shout out to Dar's Double Scoop ice cream shop. They are located at 1048 Rice Street, St. Paul, Minnesota, 55117. So that is just south of Maryland on Rice Street. So, and I think it's right next to a credit union. Anyway, it's on Rice Street, but 1048 Rice Street. And they not only have ice cream, but they have, pizza and hot dogs and it's other fried goodness, French fries, onion rings, and tater tots, and so on and so forth. Oh my goodness, the owner is such an awesome person. Man, I appreciate Kevin for staying in the community, and he's such an awesome individual when it comes down to community involvement and hiring within the community. Not to say that you wouldn't hire anyone, but realizing that to build up a community, you also have to help build up the individuals that reside in the area. It's a safe place for families to go to hang out. Of course, you have to buy ice cream. Why go to an ice cream shop if you're not going to buy ice cream? But the food is awesome. The service is wonderful. You even have opportunity if you want to taste a sample or two. They're more than happy to do that. But again, they offer a wide variety, and the flavors that they have, telling you, humongous. Yeah, and why I got stuck on sea salt caramel nut is because of Dar's. Just so you know, Dar's. Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure. I was like, oh, do you have butter pecan? Nope, we have something similar though. It's called sea salt caramel nut. Oh man, I'm telling you, when they gave me a sample of that, I was hooked. And I'm quite sure, I'm hoping maybe they're listening. They know that every time I come in, I'm going to have at least a nice large cup packed to the gills with it hardly being able to be covered. Again, another place that gives you, for the money, a large quantity. So wow, again, a shout out to Dar's Double Scoop on Rice Street. That's 1048 Rice Street. And if you go to darsdoublescoop.com, you'll be able to see all the ice cream selections that are also available. Bear Creek Caramel, Black Walnut, Chocolate Chip, Rocky Road, Root Beer Float. So, white chocolate raspberry, I tell you, you would say, oh, okay, well, you already talked about Nelson's and you're talking about Dar's and similar, but the opportunity that you have for it to be so close in your community, and I'm giving you options. So if you're near to Nelson's, or if you just want to take a little drive, that's fine too. But if you're near to Dar bars, believe me, right in the community. I mean, sometimes I see folks biking there, or families just walking from home to the ice cream shop to Dar's. It's right in the community, as is Nelson's. So definitely take advantage of this warm weather and go out and enjoy some tasty desserts, because believe me, they both offer some great value for what they provide to the community. We talked about ice cream. I'm excited about some number of stuff that's going on, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more. But before I do that, I want to mention, this is not about food, but I want to give a shout out to the Indigenous Roots Cultural Arts Center that's going to be having their grand opening today from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. And hopefully they can hear me, because they are right next door. So shout out to you guys. They are located at 788 East 7th Street, and that's in St. Paul, 55106. They've already started to have a soft opening, I would say you probably would call it. but it was more of an opportunity to have an intimate reception, introducing the community to the Cultural Arts Center. And so they opened their doors to the public on Thursday, May 11th. And again, as I mentioned, they had an intimate reception with a gathering and blessings from the community elders. Because and I say that again, blessings from community elders and so on, because it's such a multicultural uh, art center, and as well as it is representing the multicultural diversity of the community. I believe their mission statement, or what they're about them, is they're a collective of artists and organizations. They're dedicated to building, supporting, and cultivating opportunities for Indigenous people and communities of color through cultural arts and activism. So, again, multicultural, multi-generational, young, old, and it's a center described being for Native, Indigenous, or people of color communities within the St. Paul area. And what they're are trying to do, I can't say try, they're going to be successful. I know that they are, because they are. I've met many of their artists just in passing from other events. Specifically, they have a dance troupe, Native Pride dancers. I love watching them. So colorful. They were at Cinco de Mayo, and they have been at other events that I've gone to or attended. So again, look out or come out to celebrate with them. Again, that event is going to be starting today at 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. There's going to be art, music, food, cultural performances. It's going to be all day long. Just come out and support them, because they are the community here in the Dayton's Bluff area is so diverse and so multiculturally based. And to have a cultural center that's in the community that focuses on Native, Indigenous, and people of color is really promising, and I wish them all the best and all the success. So shout out to Indigenous Roots. 12 o'clock, people. That's what, hour and a half or something from now. It's gonna be popping. Yeah, I'm not. It's going to be a great time. Okay, so now I'm making these transitions. I told you that last week, I was quite busy. So I'm coming back to the bread pudding part, because, there was a purpose for that. A very dear friend and her mom. So shout out to Shannon Twohy and Miss Patricia. Thank you all so much for the invitation. They invited a number of friends, foodie friends, which I am so thankful to know and get to know. They invited them into their home. They had, I want to say, a dinner party, but it was just an event. Let's put it that way. Because as I learned, and Miss Patricia, thank you so much for providing a bit more information regarding, hosting a dinner party. I've learned that you don't want to, or you wouldn't want to call it a dinner party if there is more than 8 people. 8 people is the max for a dinner party. So this was not a dinner party. This was an event, a food event, put it that way. But the event was really, really awesome, because it was, I don't want to say it was a theme. I don't want to say it was themed, but it did have a theme. So and I appreciate everyone that put in all the effort and work and everything, and especially Shannon and her mom, but also all the other cooks and everything. Basically, any type of food, or maybe cookbooks that were of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Any recipes that they probably, mentioned or created for folks to create during that era, or those different eras, decades. Um, you were encouraged to bring those or to make those. And a good example, a sandwich loaf or a cheese ball. Cheese ball was there, so oh my goodness, yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Um, I can't describe how the plethora of food and the creativity that each of these other foodie friends and chef, you know, prepared and created. And I'm going to talk about a few of those, but the invitation indicated that if you were dreaming to create something kitschy, make sure you bring it. And please bring it, because that is the type of event this was, and did not disappoint at all. Literally, we had wonderful things like a bologna cake. Now you're probably thinking, okay, what is a bologna cake? You have to have had it to understand, and it is not what it really is not unpalatable. Let me put it that way. It's actually quite good. Is quite good, and it's what softened cream cheese. I'm not sure what ingredients they used in theirs, but the standard recipe would be, you're gonna soften maybe like an 8-ounce package of cream cheese with maybe some onions or onion powder and maybe some Worcestershire sauce, and beat it until it's very, very smooth. And then you're going to put a slice of bologna on the plate, and then you're going to spread that softened cream cheese that you've just mixed with the onions and Worcestershire sauce. There's probably so many different variations, because who knows what you could put in this. I mean, garlic, dill, rosemary, in between, you mixed in the cream cheese. And then, you continue to layer, for each layer of bologna, you put cream cheese, bologna, cream cheese, back and forth until the last layer, until the pack of bologna, if you would, is done. And hopefully the last layer is that last bologna slice. And then you would cut it into cake pieces. And I'm telling you, it was presented so beautifully. I neglected to get a picture of it, because there were so many additional dishes that were like, I have to get a picture of this one, I have to get a picture of that one, and I will share them on my Facebook page. I've shared it with them already in their event. So yeah, great stuff, really great stuff. That was one that I was surprised about, but it did remind me of having like a Spam sandwich. So there were items such as that. There was bourbon, oh gosh, was it bourbon based Spam with peaches, or bourbon braised? Yeah, bourbon braised Spam with peaches, the Spam loaf with peaches. So shout out to James Leckitz. Thank you for creating that. There was a dish called chicken divan, and chicken divan, it's a casserole dish, and it's described again with usually having, it's a chicken casserole dish served with broccoli, almonds, and a Mornay sauce. It was named after a place where it was invented, which is Divan, a Divan restaurant in New York City. So, and I say Divan, it's Divan, chicken Divan. and you're probably wondering about that spelling, there are recipes out there so you can make it at home. It is not it, when they say kitschy, uh, meaning old school or what my grandparents would used to make, or I'm just saying from the Midwest because honestly, I never really heard that word until I came to the Midwest. But chicken divine, yeah, wonderful dish. There was, oh my goodness, there was a wonderful, um, I have to say, a wonderful individual that I met. Her name was Jess, and she made this wonderful dish. Well, two actually. One is called aspic. Now, you're probably wondering what is aspic? ASPIC. Aspic is it's a dish where ingredients are set into a gelatin mold made from maybe meat stock um, or consomme. And I was trying to I paused because I was trying to think what is the best way to describe consomme, well, aspect in general. So, and this is, trust me, this is not gross. It's a reason for it. But, when you have like a roasted chicken or something and it is that clear gelatin that is like at the bottom, um, it looks like jelly. Anyway, that's really what it is. But again, it's made from meat stock. Consomme, it's a clear liquid or clear soup. It's most times it's richly flavored or either a richly flavored stock or a bouillon that's been clarified. Clarified meaning any type of fat or sediments have actually been removed, and a lot of times they'll do that with maybe egg whites. That egg whites, of course, are a much heavier substance or liquid than that of like regular stock or water. So it will take out all those other sediments or anything that you might think are floating in the liquid, and you simply use the broth or the clear broth that remains. So that's mixed in with the aspic. But oftentimes, the consomme is not used in non-savory dishes, like non-savory meaning vegetable or ones, or yeah, where you're using meat. You're not using meat in the non-savory. So this chef, her name is Jess. Hopefully, I am going to have an opportunity to speak with her again because I would love to learn some more about aspic and a few of the, another dish that she's made that I'm going to be talking about, and it was a dessert, which was wonderful. But the aspic had vegetables within, and you have to understand about aspect. Aspect is aspect. That was a funny conversation that was going on there at the dinner event. But understanding that it is literally a gelatin mold, which was creatively done because it looked like they were small flowers, or the gelatin mold were of flowers, of daisies. But within that gelatin, there were pieces of vegetables like cucumber and miniature baby radishes. That just there was another vegetable that I cannot recall. Gosh, I really wish that I knew what that was. And she mentioned it too. It started with an L, but it had a peppery type of flavor, but it added to everything as a whole that you were eating of this aspect. And if you look online to find, what aspect is, again, that's ASPIC, you'll see a number of different very interesting dishes. However, just created this in such a beautiful way that you used a fork and a dollop of mayonnaise that was added to just basically place it in your mouth and just enjoy all the flavors that they were simple flavors, but they were tasty and flavorful. And that was one of the things that was the talk of this dinner event, and I was so happy to be there because of it. Because man, I've never had anything like that. Okay, so next thing, I didn't talk about my own bread pudding. Myself and a friend, we did bread pudding. Now I have a different way of doing bread pudding. I try to do it based on, the not the masses, pleasing the masses, but in a way that people are not going to be afraid to have it. Because yes, growing up, bread pudding for us was soaking the raisins in rum, putting rum into the actual mixture so you could actually taste the rum. And we kids still had it. I don't do that, or I have chosen not to do that because I've made it times past for people in the office, and I'm afraid to go off and take something like that into the office where, yes, I know that alcohol can bake or evaporate off so that it doesn't have such that a result of trying to intoxicate someone that's having your bread pudding. Yeah, I just did it standardly, the safe way, to make sure that everyone was happy and like, what is in this? What's this? What's in the raisin? No, I have to slowly work them up towards that because I don't think they're ready for that yet. Maybe they are, maybe not. So I made mine, and then my friend Cecil made his as well. And I'm not sure how we didn't know that each other were making bread pudding, but his bread pudding was awesome. He used some, his secret recipes, and some wonderful bread. Some, I believe it was, not really it was not. I want to say a Kaiser. It wasn't a Kaiser roll. I'm thinking. I forgot what type of bread he actually used, but it was from a bakery that one of his house guests had obtained. And that is what they were using. I went a different route, of course, and just used some, because I was trying to do it very quickly and efficiently. I used store-bought bread, but I have my own process. Cutting it and dicing after doing the process with the bread. I cut them and dice them into actual squares so that aesthetically, not that his wasn't aesthetically, but for me, I like to see those square crusts sticking through the actual top portion of my bread pudding, and seeing bits of raisins strewn on top or throughout. I don't put a lot because some folks don't really care for raisins, or they're like, no raisins. Anyway, it was both of ours. I have to admit, his was bomb because he did this brandy sauce. Yeah, I'm jealous because of you for that, Cecil, but thank you, because it was delicious. And even though people were saying, well, why? There's two bread puddings. Isn't it the same? And I think 3 people altogether was like, no, it's not the same. But they're both delicious. His was bomb. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about mine too. It was bomb too. So I'm just saying, it's out there. Hopefully one day I will have an opportunity to help graduate my friends and fellow or family members in Minnesota to giving them some bread pudding with brandy in it or rum specifically. Yeah, I think they'll like it. They'll enjoy it a whole lot. Okay, I got to talk about one more item from, there were again so many different items from this event that I attended, and I love the event. It was called Party Like You're Betty Crocker, and certainly people really showed out with all the different dishes that they made, but there was one additional dessert of all the others that were there, because there was rhubarb strawberry pie that was delicious and amazing. So Good gracious. But Jess made a wonderful, and I believe it had rhubarb in it, but I know that it had, I, I believe it had, I believe it had rhubarb and raspberry. I could be wrong, but I do know that it was a raspberry chiffon cake. It was light, it was airy, it was just bursting with all the flavors, um, the tartness, the sweetness, and I love the fact that she used cornflakes. She crushed up cornflakes and sprinkled it on top. Uh, it was almost like a reverse pie, you know, but that crust on top was just the whole thing was just amazing. We were joking that she made it in, I think, a 9 by 13 dish. Yeah, between probably two or three of us, we would have sat there and ate the whole thing. But we had to be conscious that there are other individuals that were there at the party that also needed to partake of it as well. So, shout out to, once again, to my friend Shannon Twohy and Miss Patricia Timpane. Thank you so much for the invitation. It was such a wonderful opportunity for me to be there, and I really enjoyed myself beyond belief. Um, yeah, I hope to see you all again really soon, and we'll do something like that again. Gosh, I've always said in shows past that food brings people together, and it's really true. It brings out the creativity in folks, but you're able to socialize and talk about the different flavors, and how some might say, well, I made my chicken this way. Oh, what type of seasoning did you use? Or what did you choose to use on this steak? Or God, just sitting around and talking with friends about these different subjects is so exciting for me. um, and likewise, going to events that talk about subjects like that are just as exciting. So, if you are not familiar, if you've not heard as yet, Minnesota Monthly, it's always hosted by Minnesota Monthly, the magazine. They are putting on Grillfest, and this is a yearly thing. It's a yearly festival, and if you're interested, tickets are still available. Grillfestival.com, GRILL Festival, FESTIVAL.com. I know, sorry for the spelling. Um, Grillfest, it's going to be at CHS Field, and if you're not familiar where that is, it is at the end of the Green Line in St. Paul. So, right where they have the St. Paul Farmers Market, CHS Field is literally across the street. Yeah. So if you're down already at the St. Paul Farmers Market and you're parked, I'm a little jealous of you, because that's where I should be right now. I should be at the farmers market, which, I could probably still go, but I am going to the Grill Fest, and I hope to see anyone. If you recognize me or recognize my voice, certainly say hello. But again, Grill Fest is going to be at CHS Field. The address for CHS Field is 360 Broadway Street North, and that is in St. Paul, Minnesota, 55101. If you buy your tickets ahead of time, it is $50. If you buy it at the door, it is going to be $55. It is going to be for today and tomorrow, May 13th and May 14th. The time is going to be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So definitely make your way out there. It reminds me of being at the Minnesota Food and Wine experience that was held in Target Field, and I talked about that, I believe, in March. My sister came out, and she was a vendor. Yeah, plug for Designs for Un-Bougie. But wide variety of different foods, and here again, the reason why it's called Grill Fest, you will be able to literally taste your way through all the different variety of grilled type of foods that there are, or that vendors and exhibitors will be offering. There'll be wine tastings and specialty beers that you could also have as well. You'll be able to test out the hottest grills, gathering recipes, which that's what I plan to do. I live in an apartment right now, and I can't grill right now. Not right now. But that does not mean that I cannot gather recipes and learn a little bit so that when I do go over someone's home that likes to grill, I will be fully prepared. And if someone asks, well, do you have a recipe in mind? Yes, I do. I do. One day I would like to barbecue like a pro. I want to be able to do that. I feel confident in cooking the things that meats and type of styles that I do, but barbecuing is one that I have not really gained the full skill. I'm not a grill master yet. I know a number of friends that are already. Keith. Shout out to my friends Keith and Kelly. But here at Grillfest, again, the opportunity to get some recipes, grilling tips. They'll have a grilling stage so that they will be actually doing demonstrations that will be showing you specifically, if you've seen the big green egg, there are two celebrity grillologists, as they call themselves, Mad Dog and Meryl. They're actually going to be showcasing their barbecue and grilling skills. But the grilling demonstrations are going to be with the big green egg and poolside culinary stage. So there will be opportunities to see different demonstrations on how things are grilled. If you're familiar or are aware of the appliance store Warner Stellians, they are going to have experts on site that can give you suggestions on the best grill that are available, and for whatever your purpose or your home size, they'll be able to give you some suggestions and pair that grill to whatever size backyard you have or what you want in your home. So the opportunity to gain a grill is there. There is going to be this is a 21 and over type of opportunity, but you will there will be the opportunity to have a Bloody Mary competition. So you have to be really familiar with the Bloody Mary. You have to know that there's going to be much samplings of Bloody Mary samples. And even though this is not a show all about alcoholic beverages, this is a 21 and over event. So there will be adult beverages. And I tell you, it is not until so many things I've not tried until I come to the Midwest and specifically to Minnesota. So Bloody Mary was one of them. So this is going to be a very interesting event. I won't be having it so much in the Bloody Mary competition area, of course. I will be inside having ciders and picking up recipes and visiting my favorite exhibitors and vendors, which I'm going to give a shout out to a few of them right now. First and foremost, Pimento Jamaican Kitchen. Yeah, I'm going to be standing right next to your booth for any type of samples that you'd like to give away. The Un-Bougie foodie is going to be right there. So I have been to, I think Pimento Jamaican Kitchen probably knows. They don't know me, but they probably know my face and know that I know how to put as they say, while killing pa some oxtail. Yes. So I'm not sure what type of sampling that they will have available, what grilled item, but I am looking forward to it because anything that I have had from them has been awesome and amazing. But again, here are a few of the vendors. I've already named Pimento Jamaican Kitchen. There is going to be Black Label Bacon, Angry Orchard. Angry Orchard is cider, so you don't have to have, it's its own little type of alcoholic beverage. But hopefully, I think Angry Orchard probably has a specific seasonal uh, a cider that they are going to, I hope that they're going to have offered. Caves of Faribault, cheese, artisan cheeses, um, Minnesota Beef Council. I love going to their booth. Oh my goodness, Minnesota Beef Council and the Minnesota Pork Board. I love going to them because they always have something amazing to sample and to that they're providing as just a taste. Recipes that they offer, and these are savory, but also I remember that there was a steak salad recipe that they had provided at the Food and Wine. That was amazing. Gosh, that was really, really good. Stump's Spicy Hot Foods. So Stump's Spicy Hot, mushrooms, pickles, asparagus. So it might be something, if you've never had any type of spiced or pickled vegetables that are spicy, definitely give them a try. I've sampled them once before. Yeah, be prepared because they're not kidding when they're saying that it is spicy. Fogo de Chao is going to be out there, so I'm so interested in finding out what they are going to be offering. Again, as you know, they're a Brazilian steakhouse. What tasty morsels of savory goodness they're going to be offering. The Doubletree of Hilton, Doubletree by Hilton in St. Paul. They're also going to be there. They have a restaurant. It escapes me at the moment what the name of the restaurant is, but they have a restaurant that is actually going to be, I believe a chef is going to be there hosting. And again, I'm not familiar with the restaurant, but I'm certainly looking forward to it. Gosh, so many different items, so many different vendors, ones that I haven't even got to and can't name them all, but there are supposed to be over 100 vendors there, providing you opportunities to taste things and see demonstrations of how things are cooked and grilled. You never know. I'm telling you, you could pick up a recipe that you will be able to make it your own, and it will be something that you will take to parties, and people are going to be like, wow, who came up with this? How'd you come up with this? Oh yeah, you could keep it a secret and not tell them that you went to the Grillfest and found a few suggestions and saw some demonstrations and got some new ideas. They'll never know. Anyway, oh my goodness. We are near the top of the hour, but I want to take the time to once again thank you all for tuning in with us for the past hour. There are so many different things that are going on this weekend and upcoming weeks, and we'll be talking about that in further shows. Now, mind you, I have not forgotten that I am currently having a contest, and I still haven't come up with a name for it other than the Un-Bougie Foodie Farmers Market contest. That's what we're going to call it for right now until I come up with a different name. But this contest is to help you get involved or encouraging you to get involved. As promised, I'm going to give you a certain item, vegetable, mineral, protein, and encourage you to send in your a picture and your best recipe that you have prepared, not one that you get off from the store or from online, but one that you have actually prepared that will showcase this particular ingredient. And for this week, this ingredient is going to be Thai eggplant. Again, Thai eggplant. Last week it was ramp, which some might refer to it as wild leeks, but ramp is a vegetation or vegetable. This week is also another vegetable, which is Thai eggplant. So keep in mind that, as I've always encouraged from last week, is to make sure that you are sending those pictures to the Un-Bougie Foodie at gmail.com. And leave your name, your address, and other information so that I can definitely get back in contact with you, because at the end of the month, I am going to be picking one winner to give them a dinner of a restaurant in the St. Paul area. This will give you an opportunity to visit one of the places that I've spoken about on the show. If you're interested in finding out more information about places that I've gone to, certainly go to my Facebook page, the Un-Bougie Foodie, or visit any of my other social media outlets, which is Twitter or Instagram specifically, because that's where I post all the foods. So you could go there at the_Un-Bougie Foodie, or Twitter at Un-Bougie Foodie. Gosh, people, the time has flown by. I want to again thank you for joining me for this past hour. I hope you're about to go out and enjoy the rest of your day. But in doing so, as always, as I end my show, I always want to encourage you to never let anyone tell you what type of foodie to be, because really, it is all about the food. Until next week at 10 a.m. on Saturday, only here at WEQY 104.7. Thank you again for tuning in, and peace.